Hi, this is Josh from Real Property Management in Sioux Falls. Today we're going to show you how to utilize the Tenant Portal, which is just a wealth of information as well as functionality to help you in an easier way in paying rents, viewing your ledger, submitting maintenance requests, giving notice to move out, all the things dealing with the rental and communicating with us as the property manager. So let's dive in here. The first thing you're going to receive when we activate your portal is an email that looks something like this. It'll have a link right here below your email address. You click the link and that's going to give you a screen to set up a new password. So just enter a password, confirm the password, submit. The second thing you want to do is go down to the portal login, and you can access the portal from our website as well, expressrpm.com, or there's a link in the email. Basically go ahead and enter your email address and password and sign in, and that's going to open up the Tenant Portal. Now here we have, the navigation is pretty simple. Across the top we have several tabs, and we'll look at each of these tabs in turn. So the first tab is My Account, and it's going to have your rental address and your any contact information. We have two buttons across the top here. One is Set Up Payment Accounts. Let's look at that first. Here's where your ACH information is. So when you sign your lease, you probably gave this to us already, and this should be entered in. So if you change bank accounts, you can certainly go in here and change the numbers of the routing number or account number. The one caution I would give you is that if you miss a number, it's going to bounce back. It could be deposited in the wrong account, but more likely it's going to bounce back as a bad account, and the bank does charge for that, and it's close to a $40 fee at this point, and we have to pass that on to you. So just make sure that when you change these numbers that you do so and you double check your work. Enter your billing address and then hit save and you're good to go. And so the next rent cycle on the first, the money will be pulled via ACH from the numbers that you enter here. The second thing you have, let's go back to My Account, is new service request. So, and you can, this is for, if you have a maintenance item, say there's a leaking faucet and you want someone to come take a look at it. You can hit new service request, and it's going to basically ask you where you live, the location of the problem, give a description, as much information as possible is helpful, your current number so we can make sure we get a hold of you to schedule time to get in, and then if we can enter the property with a key, or if there's a preferred time or day that works best for you. And then finally, do you have pets, so that we can make sure we coordinate around them and not bother our maintenance techs. And hit save. As soon as you hit save, an email is going to go to the maintenance department, and they're going to follow up with you. Just keep in mind, if it's an emergency, we'll get to it sooner, the same day. The best thing on an emergency is to actually call our 800 number, because they are able to tell if it's an emergency from the information you give to them, and then they will contact our maintenance people, even if it's in the middle of the night or a holiday, on their cell phones to get it taken care of right away. If it's not an emergency, we will take care of it during business hours. So just keep those things in mind. Is it an emergency? Is it not an emergency? Emergencies are going to be things like a water leak for sure is, heat if it's super cold out, or air conditioning if it's super hot. And even in emergency situations, we may opt to put a band-aid on it to get us through to the business hours. So this is the maintenance tab. We've kind of jumped into that by default, but you can also, so we were in the My Account and we clicked new service request, but you can also do a service request through the maintenance tab, and new service request. Also, any open work orders are going to be listed here, and they're going to be open until they've been completed and billed out. The last thing I want to mention is the Conversations tab here. You can click on New Conversation and then basically write a comment here, and this will get posted to our accountant or our leasing agent or maintenance or wherever it needs to go. And this is just a nice way to keep a record of all correspondence with us. That way it's always attached to your property, on our end and on your end. We're not searching for emails and things like that. Alright, so let's go to My Rental tab. Here again, of course, you can set up the payment account and give notice. So you can certainly give written notice, but this is a quick and easy way. When you're ready to move out, you can just come in here, the move out date, give your forwarding address, which is very important. And this is written notice. So if you provide it through this, we get it, it updates our system automatically, and this is the same as putting in your 30-day notice on a piece of paper. So this is actually the preferred method. The last thing here is your tenant ledger. So I guess we have some information, your move-in date, your end date, when the lease ends. That's important so that you know we're going to want to renew the lease at the end of it. But the tenant ledger, this gives you see you rent from us for 5 years. I mean, this is going to be extremely long. It's going to have at least probably 60 rental entries plus payment entries, so we can be talking 300 entries. But basically, all the detail, this is pulling right out of our database, all the detail of the charges that are against your account and the payments you've made on those charges. So here we have a charge, it's rental income. The amount was 500, and then it keeps a running balance. So here we charge 500, and then we charge another 995. So our balance is 1495. Then we made a payment of 995. So we subtracted the 995 from the 1495, and we end up with a balance of 500. Then we made another payment of 500, which then brought the balance to 0. And this is just a running, right here is a running balance. Then we had a security deposit, which was charged 995. Right, so our balance is 995. Made a payment, 995, balance is 0. Okay, so this 0 amount here, this balance here is always going to be the total unpaid here. Here, of course, we have our deposits held, so we know what the deposit is that we can expect to get back at the end of the lease if there's no damage or maintenance issues. And then if there's any prepayment, so if you pay before the first of the month, it'll go in as a prepayment, which will then be applied to the rent on the first. So that's the ledger. So sometimes you need it for, maybe you're buying a house. This would be a great thing. Just go ahead and print this off and give it to your banker and say, here, this is my management's ledger on the charges and the payments. And you can see I'm never late, or there's only one late payment, and that was for certain circumstance. Or if you need a receipt to get a reimbursement from your company because they paid moving expenses or what have you, this is just a great resource for you. You can print it off and give it to whoever you need to verify that you're a current tenant, which is sometimes important. Okay, so we've looked at the maintenance tab. Let's look at the documents quickly. Generally, the documents here are going to be your lease documents, disclosures, pet addendums, pool addendums, whatever you've signed to lease the property will all be listed here, so it's there for your records. Again, sometimes you need a lease to get a loan, so just go ahead and print that off for your records. And then any other documents, pictures, inspection reports, we'll upload these here from time to time. Final tab gives your rental insurance policies that we have on file for you. So just for FYI. Basically, that's the tenant portal. Each tenant has the ability to have their own portal. So if you have 3 roommates, they could all have their own portal. They could all have their own separate payment accounts. So each of them could be paying their third of the rent if you liked. That would work. Just keep in mind with the payment accounts, you can actually go in and make a payment. Once you have a payment account set up, you can actually go in and make a manual payment. So say, I don't know, there was a maintenance charge on your account and you want to go in and pay it. Once you have a payment set up, you can go in, click make a payment. You'll have other buttons here once the payment account is set up. Make a payment and just go ahead and pay that directly from your checking account.